Stage in complete darkness. A single spotlight fades in. Faye, a woman in her late 60s, sits at an old sewing machine. A length of white fabric lies across the table. The machine hums softly as she presses the pedal. Faye quietly, almost to herself. We begin where everything begins. With my mother's hands on mine. I was 12. She placed my small fingers on the machine and said, "Child, when words fail you, let your hands speak." That day I learned a new language. One without sound. The machine's rhythm grows steady. My name is Afia Bakery. People call me a seamstress. I call myself a storyteller. Only my stories are made of thread. She lifts a small piece of sky blue cloth. Fia scrap. This is the first brand new dress I ever bought for Zuri. Not secondhand. Not patched. I sold my old car for this fabric. That night she danced around the room like a blue butterfly. She pressed her face to my ear and whispered, "You are the best mom in the whole world." I cried from joy. Who knew that one day best would turn into poor person's clothes? She lets the blue scrap fall. Then Kofi left us. Zuri was 6. He fell from scaffolding. The day before he had promised, "I'll come home early today, bring chocolate for Zuri." No chocolate came. Only a coffin. That night I did not cry. At dawn I turned on the machine and started sewing again. Because now this machine was the only thing that could feed us both. The machine's sound becomes heavier, like a heartbeat. For days I stitched other people's wedding dreams. Nights I stitched Zuri's school uniforms. Blood on my fingertips, but I kept sewing. I told myself, one day I will make my daughter's wedding gown. The most beautiful in the world. Not because it cost a fortune, but because it would cost my entire heart. She runs her hand over the white fabric. For that night came. I did not sleep for weeks. Every stitch a memory. Every pearl a prayer. In the secret lining I sewed a piece of my own wedding dress. So that when she walked down the aisle I would walk with her. Dawn broke. The first ray of sun kissed the gown. Wept. I wrapped it in an old sheet like a newborn and carried it to her. She slowly unfolds the half-finished gown. Zuri was drinking coffee with her polished friends. She looked me up and down and said, "What is that, Mom?" "Something a poor person would wear." Then she laughed, took the gown, and threw it in the trash. The machine stops dead. Silence. For no sound came out of my mouth. Only tears from my eyes. I walked home. Later that night I went back and pulled the gown from the bin. Wrinkled. Faint. Humiliated. A hole. Just like me. She presses it to her chest. For then I began to sew again. Not with sorrow this time. With fire. Under every crystal flower I hid a tear. Under every piece of lace I hid a sacrifice. In the lining I sewed tiny folded papers. Pieces of my life. One read, "When you were born, I thought God had given back what he took from me." Another, "That red thread you called poor people's trash. I still have it." The lights turn golden, as if the ballroom is all around her. For the wedding day. I arrived in my simple cream dress. They drank champagne. I drank pain. Then I stood. Held the gown high. Unfolded it for everyone to see. She raises the gown, now it gleams. For this gown was not sewn with money. It was sewn with sleepless nights. With the courage of a widow who refused to break. Zuri fell to her knees crying. The guests began to clap. I went to her, cupped her face in my scarred hands and whispered, "Shame is not in being poor. Shame is in forgetting where you came from." She turns to the large mirror behind her, holding the gown against herself. Fed to her reflection softly. "I did not sew this gown for you. I sewed it for my own dignity." The lights dim again. Then Zuri came back, fell at my feet, begged forgiveness. Then Imani Ellington walked through my door. The same woman who once humiliated me for a single crooked stitch. Then an old letter from Kofi arrived. It said, "Afia, if Imani Ellington ever comes, forgive her. She too was a victim of pride." And with it, a red thread. She pulls a spool of red thread, winds it slowly around her fingers. Faye, this thread was woven by my mother, hidden by my husband, thrown away by my daughter. Yet it always returned. Truth is like that. She begins folding the finished gown with great care. Faye, today Hope Studio stands open. Women come every morning, with torn clothes and torn hearts. I tell them the same thing. So, even if the thread breaks, you can knot it again and keep going. A small voice from the darkness. Off stage, Grandma? A little girl steps into the light, holding the red thread. Whose gown is this? With tears shining, smiling, yours. She places the folded gown in the child's arms. For now it's your turn. Nia hugs the gown to her heart. Afia embraces her. For whisper. Keep sewing. Because a heart that can still sew after it has been broken will never truly break. The machine's hum fades to silence. Lights out. Word count. 1028. Pure performable English text with minimal stage directions woven in.